welcome to a brand new episode of Smile with Prachi. This is Prachi. Now, in today's video, we won't be reading out any letters, but a topic of discussion today is something that impacts all of us. That is signs of emotional maturity. As a society, we are very quick to judge people and put a label like, oh, she's mature, he's immature. To put a label like that is oversimplifying the problem. The first thing I want to talk about, guys, I'll, by the way, keep looking at my laptop today because I have a lot of really important and good points written over here, okay? The first sign, a very important sign of emotional maturity is when you're able to pick your battles. Pick your battles. What do I mean by this? Look at the world around you, okay? There could be a lot of things that are just annoying or not to your liking. It could be that irritating aunt that you meet at family functions who's constantly nagging you to get married. Okay? An emotionally mature person will be able to ignore that aunt, excuse themselves, and walk away. Because they understand that fighting with that aunt is not worth my time or energy. You pick your battles. You don't waste your time and energy fighting with everybody. You understand that this is worth your time and this is not worth your time. Having said that, if there is a cause that you very strongly believe in, take your stand. Absolutely. If you feel that somebody is trying to bully you or make things too difficult for you, or if that aunt is going overboard with her nagging, then you confront her. But pick your battles. The next sign of emotional maturity, it's related to the first point, is when you don't get triggered that quickly. What do I mean by this? When you don't get angry very easily, or get very badly impacted that easily. I do want to mention here something, guys. When it comes to anger has been seen. Anger is a negative emotion. Yes, it's a bad feeling. It's not healthy for the person who's angry. It's not healthy for the relationships. But when we talk about somebody who's an angry person, we talk about it with so much of contempt, with so much of disgust. I really want everyone who's watching this video today to pause and think, what makes a person angry? The answer is always, when a person is that angry, the answer is always hurt. There is so much of hurt buried deep inside. If you are an angry person, I want you to first understand that you're not a bad person for being angry. It's a negative emotion. It's negative for you. It's negative for your relationships, but you are the one who's suffering. You are the one who's suffering the most. So don't look at it with contempt or disgust. Try to understand where that hurt is coming from. And immediately you will see that you are feeling better. When you start working on those things that hurt you. Generally, these things require a lot of therapy. Generally, okay? But if you're able to work it out within yourself, see, like somebody who has failed their exams could suddenly be like getting angry with everything. So the moment you realize that, I think I've been angry of late because I failed my exams, that's something that you can actually work out on your own, right? For somebody, however, who has had a very difficult childhood and there are layers and layers and instances of being abused and being hurt, for them, therapy is a much better option because there's just too much to deal with. Next point I want to talk about is boundaries. Since childhood, and this makes sense from a parent's perspective, it completely makes sense, right? Since childhood, children are told, you need to obey, you need to respect, you need to say yes, you cannot say no, you have to agree. Parents are trying to discipline the children, which is important. But because of this constant training, what happens to a lot of children is that they never learn to say no. Even as adults, they're never able to say no. Somebody asks you for favor and it's a really, really bad time for you, you'll still not be able to say no. And if you are able to say no, if you do say no, you feel so guilty inside. So when somebody tries to make you feel guilty, that guilt just envelops you because it's already there. So learn to understand boundaries, learn to respect and value your own emotions, your own feelings, because this will give you immense confidence. This will make you feel worthy for your own self. And that will help you, develop a much stronger personality. It's the small things, sometimes it's the small things that actually can trigger so many things. A person who's not confident inside, a person who has been constantly told that no, you're a bad person if you say no, always say yes, will always say yes, will suffer the consequences of it. And one time they say no, the world tells them that they are bad and then they kind of crash and fall. So understand boundaries are important, including your own boundaries, and learn to say no if you don't already. Okay, which brings me to the next point. Understand that when you're communicating with someone, this is a myth that we always have, a lot of us believe that if we communicate well, if we talk to the other person well, all problems can be solved. No, that doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, things are not that easy. You are responsible. An emotionally mature person understands this, that you are responsible for what you say, how you say it. So you need to be sensitive. A lot of it will also comes from your own will come from your own persona and how you have grown up and how you just generally talk. Okay, you are responsible for what you say. You can say all the correct things, the other person can still misunderstand you. So how they perceive you, how they understand you, is not entirely up to you. Your role is only defined up to this point where you say the words out loud, where you communicate yourself. Don't take it personally. Feel free to walk out of a space where you're constantly misunderstood in spite of your best of efforts. And when I say best of efforts, also be very receptive to hearing what the other person says. Okay, not just your communication, but also be receptive to what the other person is saying. Sometimes, we are so focused on communicating our point of view, we forget what the other person is saying is also very, very important, sometimes more important than what we have to say to them. The next point that I want to discuss, and that is, you are able to let go of toxic people. That's a sign of emotional maturity. They should not be able to manipulate you or guilt you into letting them back into your lives. This, I think, especially applies to a lot of teenage relationships. At least the letters that I get a lot of letters from my teenage viewers saying, Prachi, I want to break up with my boyfriend, or I want to break up with my girlfriend, but they are saying that they'll commit suicide, but I'm so miserable with them, and things like that. This is all manipulation, right? So, of course, if somebody's threatening suicide, you need to tell their best friends and their family about it, but cut off from that relationship. And understand something. There could be people who were really nice to you 10 years, 20 years back. But from the last few years, you are seeing this really toxic trait in them. You've tried to talk to them, you've tried to communicate things with them, but all the sarcasm or all the bullying keeps happening. They're toxic now. Let them go. Don't hold on to your past. Which brings me to my next point. A person who is emotionally mature spends more time in the present, okay, enjoying the moment, experiencing the moment, working in the moment, whatever, in the moment, and planning for the future. Not too much. Too much planning for the future can also be anxiety, but planning for the future in general. Okay, that is what an emotionally mature person does. If you feel that you're spending too much time thinking about your past, that could again trigger a whole lot of things. People who spend too much time thinking about their past are generally more depressed. Next, I want to talk about, okay, now this is very important. We talked about toxic people and boundaries and all of that. Very important aspect of emotional maturity is to also understand who are the right people for you. Because every relationship, whether it's with your parents, your siblings, your cousins, your friends, your colleagues, in every relationship there will be conflict at some time or the other. Over and over again, it will happen. You should be able to recognize that these people, even though there's a conflict going on, even though there's an angry thing going on right now, these people are important to me. These people matter to me. So you're able to try and talk to them and try and resolve the conflict. So the reason why I'm using the word try is because there's no guarantee, of course, but you try to work on these relationships. So to be able to, first of all, decide who's toxic for you and who's not is very important. And also to be able to decide that this person is worth your time. Okay, so like we said, pick your battles. There's kind of a part of it, except that this is not a battle. This is more of a reconciliation thing. Okay, and last but not the least, an emotionally mature person is able to learn from their behavior of others, and correct that. Okay, suppose you're having a very heated discussion or a very heated debate with somebody. Okay, a husband and wife having a very heated discussion. If you are able to pause when you feel that the other person is actually making more sense than you are, you're able to step down and say, you know what, you're actually right. I didn't think of it that way. Maybe even say sorry if you have been very, very forceful with your own point of view. If you're able to do that, to accept that the other person is correct, huge sign of emotional maturity. Only an emotionally matured person and a person who's feeling confident inside can do that. So I'm not saying that you have to fix everybody around you. You can only fix yourself. And if you want to help somebody, great. If you don't, even that's fine, really. But to understand where the behavior comes from can be very helpful, right? So yes guys, that's all I want to share in today's video. Fun fact, this is my seventh retake on this video. I have changed the script over and over again. Thrice Lyra interrupted me, now she's fallen asleep. And I'm so exhausted. But anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Have lots and lots of fun. Stay safe, be careful, stay smart. And by the way, share something with me in the comment section. If you feel that there is a point that could be added to this list, please share. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and bye bye.